Congratulations, Pooh. You win the grand prize.
Thank you all ever so much.
Well, Winnie the Pooh first became famous as a beloved storybook character from the 1920s. The book is still read by children to this day. What some people may not know is that Pooh is actually based on a real bear cub that belonged to a Canadian. Deana Sumanac-Johnson is here with more on that story. So I don't know this. What is the real story behind Winnie the Pooh?
So when we say the word Winnie, I think not a lot of people think about the fact that Winnie was a short form for Winnipeg, which was the hometown of Harry Coburn, the Canadian soldier and veterinarian who adopted the little bear in Winnipeg. Right now, actually, there's an exhibit at the Ryerson Image Center at the Ryerson University here in Toronto that celebrates the Coburn family archive, Christine. Here we see Harry Coburn as a young soldier, all the letters he kept, all of this stuff that really brings to life the story of this beloved bear. So Harry Coburn went to fight in the trenches like so many Canadians did in 1914, went to London and had to part with his beloved bear. Of course, he couldn't take the bear into the war. So he left the bear at the London Zoo, where the bear became so popular, all the kids were going to see him. And that's where the writer A.A. Milne and his son Christopher Robin saw the bear for the first time, and that brought us Winnie the Pooh around the 1920s. But the real bear would have been 100 years old today, and that is what this exhibit celebrates the man, really, who brought us the bear. We got a chance to speak to Deana. She's the head of the Ryerson Image Center. Here's what she has to say about this exhibit.
Very central to the collection are the diaries, the personal diaries of Harry Coburn, small books that he kept in his pocket and wrote on a daily, sometimes a monthly, sometimes a weekly basis throughout the war, so we can follow the sentiment of this veterinarian as he goes through the war, and again that juxtaposition of the horror and the moments where you could feel human again, his thoughts about the bear and so on.
Okay, that is so cool.
Isn't it cool?
I had no idea. But how is it, do you think, that almost 100 years later, those stories have endured?
What I love about watching those Winnie the Pooh cartoons that we watched as kids, and kids are still watching them nowadays, and the books, is that he is like a child, Winnie the Pooh, but he also has a certain maturity and certain thoughtfulness about him. And I can't help but wonder that, you know, his creation, he was created by a man whose son was a little child during the First World War. When we think about the young men who went to fight in the First World War, they were pretty much children themselves, many of them 18, 19 years old. And there's something about the time of the creation of this bear that I think coincided with that sense of we have to preserve our innocence. We have to preserve that sense of wonder and that sense of innocence that childhood innately has. A person who really gave us a lot of thought is Lindsay Maddox. She's the great-granddaughter of Harry Coburn, and she's actually writing the book about her grandfather and his famous bear. She was at this exhibit. Here's what Lindsay Maddox had to say.
It is my hope that as people take in this history, a truly beautiful chapter to arise amidst countless difficult chapters from the First World War, that they take with them its heart. You simply never know how far and how wide the consequences of one small, loving act can truly reach.
What a great way to sum
Well
it up.
said.
By the way, there's a statue of Winnie the Pooh at the London Zoo, right in the heart of it. And you can, if you can't get to London, you can check out this exhibit right here in Toronto. It's on until December 7th.
That's amazing. Deana, thanks so much for
You're
this.
welcome.